Okay, let's see if I got sound on now. I tried to do another video. It took me about a half hour to figure out the sound. Sorry, I'm late. Anyways, existential. Yeah, that's a tongue twister. Existential. There we go. And Gestalt therapy. They're kind of hand in hand, but not. One calls for self-awareness, that's existential, and Gestalt's more like a different kind of therapy. It's more like a, how do you say, more like a, almost like person-centered, but not really. It's a, like a holistic kind of therapy. It focuses on the here and now, the experience, the authenticity of the therapist, more like being a friend kind of thing. Existential is more like focusing on the life and death scenario, focusing on the purpose of what we're here for. Gestalt is just trying to be there for the person, not as much as person-centered therapy, but it's kind of like on the lines of that. They got Erickson's psychosocial perspective. They got stages, basically social tasks that need to be mastered, all the way from being a baby to an old age where we're up in our prime years. We have a specific crisis that we have to resolve in order to move forward. Sounds a lot like reincarnation to me, but anyways, that's Erickson, so not to be confused with Leif Erikson, the Viking explorers. It's a different Erickson. But that's totally different therapy. That's a way different therapy. Existential therapy is more like life and death. Focus on why am I here, what am I doing in life, what's my purpose, what gives my life meaning. For me, it's my wife, my relationship with God, my link to my ancestors, who is Leif Erikson and Eric the Red, and I fully embrace my Viking heritage, as you can see. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Sartre calls for a commitment to choosing for ourselves in this existential therapy, which falls along the lines of autonomy, and it calls for an awareness that we are finite. We have limited time on Earth, which is true. We all have limited time until the rapture. We do have the choice to act, and how we act. That's 90% of what happens to us. And the other 10% is to actual action. That's all life is. We do choose our actions. We're not free from our actions. We're not free from the consequences of the actions. And the meaning is not automatic from our life. We choose our meaning. We don't seek it, but we choose what our life means. Yes, we are created to serve God. Yes, we are created for that sole purpose, just like the book 40 Days of Purpose talks about. But we are chosen to serve God, and we are subject to being lonely. Guys like me especially. I've been fortunate to have a wife who loves me, and on the other hand, my kids are grown, they have kids of their own, they don't come back here unless they need something. So, yes, I got that going for me, but loneliness is one of the hardships of this life, especially mine. Emptiness, guilt, isolation. Existentialism teaches us we are basically alone. Me and my wife have been empty nesters for the last few years. We haven't been alone. Yes, I do go to a job. I go there to work. I don't go there to make friends. I don't have many friends. I am not a very friendly guy at times. I can be a bit of a jerk. But I do have my congregation I'm part of, and I reach out to them when I'm in need of emotional support. It goes on to say that we do not choose the circumstances in which we are born. No, we don't. My father, he was on drugs 30 years of my life, almost 40, and he just got released from San Quentin. Now he's out, and he's doing a lot better. He chose that path. He was born to a Marine on a Marine Corps base, and he actually in Quantico, Virginia, of all places, Triangle, not too far from the college. And he made his choices, and then those choices affected me. When he left us, me and my brother and sister, when I was 5 years old, and told me to take care of my mom. And then I've been doing it ever since. Now my little brother does it, and taking up the mantle. I'm glad. He's a 6'3", 200 something pound, big old giant with a beard. Anyways, that's existentialism, but when you get to Gestalt, it's more holistic. You're trying to see more like a growth promoting climate. You see more acceptance, more caring, trying to be your friend. Let me hold your hand, let me give you a hug, sweater wearing therapist, hand you a Kleenex, kind of like that guy you see in the Santa Claus stepdad, you know? Not all shrinks are like that. No, I shouldn't use the word shrink. We're not trying to be a shrink. We're trying to be counselors. We're trying to be there for people who need help. We're not trying to be there to collect a buck, and we're trying to heal. You know, we're not there to heal them, but to help them find healing through God. And Gestalt is more like a hold your hand while you cry kind of therapy from what I read. It's more like the client's experiencing incongruence. It's more like and then the client's more congruent. He's all there while the client isn't, and the client comes in and he's like, let me show you the way out of here. That's what therapy's supposed to be, in a sense. But Gestalt's more like your friend while you're doing it, and that's like crossing double boundaries kind of thing. There's a lot of communication to the client, and that's achieved between the relationship. And I have a lot of application in group counseling too. I go to men's men's ministry almost every Monday night. We sit around and we talk about what we thought about the sermon. And it's kind of like that in a way. You know, it's like group therapy. You know, we sit there and we talk about what's going on with us. We ask for prayer requests, and it's a very open and accepting thing where we talk about our troubles, and you know, we don't have to go to the change alone. I got my table leader that calls me every Sunday night to see if I'm going to be there. So, in a way, that's kind of Gestalt therapy. Now, it's almost like art therapy too, expressive arts. There's a creative process. There's consciousness achieved through self-discovery and insight, self-awareness, understanding. It's a creative connection based on what Natalie Rogers says. There are a few experiences that go on. There's empathy, psychological freedom, acceptance, stimulating and challenging experiences. Those are just a few to be named. You know, there's a lot of good stuff happening in Gestalt therapy that we can look forward to. And then there's the me spirit, the motivational interviewing spirit. We motivate people when we use this Gestalt therapy to see if we can get them going, you know, through self-efficiency, self-efficacy. We strengthen the commitment to change and assist them in the change plan. There's pre-contemplation change, contemplation change, prep change, action change, maintenance stage. Those stages of change. And there's a lot of strengths and weaknesses from a diversity perspective. Carl Rogers has reached 130 countries, 12 languages, in this, the therapist is viewed as a fellow explorer. He's going through the journey with you. So, and a lot of clients who expect a very direct counselor might be put off by this approach. So, and it's got it talk, you talk, the empty chair technique, and it really focuses on the here and now, like I said before. It's a really good therapy, holistic, increase awareness, and one of the main strengths is to integrate theory, practice, and research. So hopefully you learned a lot. Hopefully you can hear me, because the last 2 videos sucked, and pardon my language, and it took me a half hour to get the video right. So I'm a little tired, and I'm going to try and get this done and get back to my wife. Anyways, hope you all have a good night. Bye. Oh, for my sources, I used the PowerPoint, the TAN book, and the other textbook, Switcher and Rubin. Y'all have a good night.